Hello, everyone, and welcome to my clinical teaching technique workshop. My name is Adam Melstrom, and I am an athletic trainer at Minnesota State University in Mankato, Minnesota. I've been a certified athletic trainer for the last 8 years, and I have been a preceptor and a mentor for more than half of that time. In my time acting as a preceptor, I have grown extremely interested in developing the best students as possible, and I would like to discuss mentorship and organizational socialization with you all today. I would like to discuss mentorship and organizational socialization with you all during today's workshop to help improve our interactions with our students and improve the quality of students that leave our educational programs. I hope that you have all had the opportunity to read through and reflect on this workshop's preparatory readings. A lot of what I will be speaking about today has been directly drawn from these readings and will make some concepts a bit easier to understand as we progress through today's lesson. Specifically, I would like to draw your attention to the definitions of mentorship and organizational socialization. By the end of our time today, I would like to reach some goals in today's workshop. First, I'd like to define both mentorship and organizational socialization and have you all be able to do the same. I'd like to discuss the why and the how of organizational socialization and how OS could and should be utilized to improve our mentor-mentee interactions. Third, we will be discussing leadership styles, and then we'll be able to take a brief quiz to identify our own personal leadership styles and then determine our shortcomings and positives of our leadership style. Lastly, we'll be going over the importance of goal setting and how to properly create goals with our potential mentees. To begin, I would like to start by having everyone think of a mentor currently in their lives or from their past that they truly admired. What made this person such a great mentor, and what did they do to leave such a positive impact on you? Next, I'd like you to reflect on a mentor who maybe had a negative impact on your experiences, either as a student or as a professional. What did this person do or not do that left you with a negative experience with them? The reason I'm having you reflect on both a positive and a negative preceptor or mentor is because it is crucial that we understand we learn equally from both of these people. We learned about the type of mentor we wish to be and the model we hope to set for our students from the positive mentor. From the negative experience, we learned the type of person that we don't want to be and the type of experiences that we don't want our students to have. It's now up to us to utilize these experiences and try to create a better experience for our students. That being said, what exactly is a mentor? Nottingham et al. And Rager et al. Describe mentorship as an informal experience that results in a relationship that has substantial impact on an individual professional by helping them to learn and accept the responsibilities of their role and provides them with future professional direction. Together, I'd like to break that definition down. We begin by stating that it is an informal experience. Oftentimes, we don't know that we have been placed in the role of being a mentor, or do we truly recognize who our mentors are when we are actively in that relationship. But all of us were able to think of someone we consider a mentor when I asked you to think of someone just a short time ago. Rarely, if ever, do people go up to someone and say, "Hey, I'm going to be your mentor. Now let's fill out some paperwork to make this working relationship official. That's just not the process. We create a relationship over time working with one another that truly becomes something of value and has a substantial impact on both the mentor and the mentee. These relationships become more substantial when we take the time to spend time with our students. By this, I mean we need to be present with our students and look for opportunities for learning. We don't need to constantly hover over our students, but rather find chances to have them practice skills and also to discuss both real and hypothetical cases with them. We need to ask them questions and train them to think critically, praise their ideas, and offer suggestions on how they could improve. Challenge them by placing them in uncomfortable situations where you can still be a guiding hand. Allow them to fail and help them learn from their mistakes rather than only allowing them to succeed. The mentor both teaches and guides the mentee into their role and allows them to experience and accept all the positives and negatives within the environment. Cherish the positives of being an AT. Be happy when your patients gain range of motion back in their ankle, or a patient is able to begin walking again after using crutches for 2 weeks. Be a light of excitement and show your mentee that you truly find joy in your work with your patients. Also make sure that your student knows there are some negatives. It's okay to feel overworked sometimes, or feel like you could be doing more for a patient who just isn't improving. Positive and negatives are a part of every profession, and it's important that we learn and accept these roles and responsibilities. The mentor also answers questions and fuels thoughts to allow their mentee to discover their true passion within their professional career. It's okay not to know the answer to every question your student has for you. What separates a good mentor from a great one is that when you find yourself in that situation, that you stay curious and seek out the answer for improvement with your student instead of letting them figure it out on their own. Ask your student about what they find most interesting in the realm of athletic training. If your interests align, you are a great source of knowledge for them to tap into. If their interests are not the same as yours, it is an amazing opportunity for you to grow and to deepen your understanding of a topic that you can learn more about. Your students will see your growth mindset and will want to learn more from you and learn more with you. Having an open and honest relationship allows for the growth of both the mentee and the mentor. Now that we have discussed what a mentor is, we can dive into organizational socialization. Socialization is defined as the activity of mixing socially with others, or the process of learning to behave in a way that is acceptable to society. Organizational socialization applies this concept to those who are beginning the integration process into an organization or into a profession as a whole. Pitney et al., Nottingham et al., and Rager et al. All discuss organizational socialization as an ongoing process of learning roles, attitudes, and behaviors beyond initial training that cultivates excitement and commitment to the profession. In the next slide, I would like to break down this definition. Let's dive a little deeper into what the definition of organizational socialization is. The process of organizational socialization goes beyond initial training. We often already possess skills necessary to be in the organizational structure where organizational socialization occurs. Because we are beyond initial training, we must begin to understand the various roles of our peers, superiors, and subordinates, as well as the culture that exists in our organizational structure. We come to learn not only our roles, but also the roles of those around us. We learn what we can expect from others, but also what they are likely to expect from us. The attitudes and behaviors that become present in our organization become apparent and are adapted as we integrate ourselves with those in the same environment as us. Successful organizational socialization also cultivates excitement and commitment to the profession. With great mentors, this becomes a very easily adopted component of organizational socialization. When we have enthusiastic individuals within our organization, it is much easier to find excitement and commitment to not only our place of work, but to our profession as a whole. Organizational socialization occurs through a series of both formal and informal processes that begin before a person even becomes a student of their profession. Organizational socialization occurs through a series of both formal and informal processes, where one formal process that we will discuss later in this workshop is onboarding. With onboarding, we utilize a formal meeting time to discuss roles and expectations, as well as chains of command and proper communication. An example of an informal process includes discussing a specific patient case and how one might better treat that patient. A discussion of what has been done well, or what could be changed when working with a patient also can be an informal process for uh, organizational socialization, because roles, attitudes, and behaviors are discussed. Nottingham further states that this process occurs more organically through mediums such as observation, engaging in the role, and seeking advice and mentoring from others in similar roles. Now, with an understanding of what OS is, when does it occur? As previously stated, organizational socialization begins with a person becoming aware of the profession they want to be a part of, and occurs throughout an entire professional career. Pitley et al. Describe the process throughout the entire professional life of an athletic trainer, but I would like to focus more on our students, as the goal of this workshop is to become more adept mentors to athletic training students. Pitley et al. Mentions envisioning the role as his first step to organizational socialization, which we will keep the same. Our students all started with a fondness for sport and or orthopedic injuries that led them to envisioning themselves as athletic trainers. The second step also aligns with Pitley et al.'s research. Our students have taken the step to take part in formal role preparation by entering an athletic training education program. Step 3 is where we begin to move into OS with athletic training students versus athletic trainers over the course of their entire career. In the organizational entry phase, students are often uncertain and unskilled. This is the best time for their mentors to begin forming a valuable relationship and helping the students to learn roles, attitudes, and behaviors, while also trying to cultivate excitement and commitment to the profession. Role evolution occurs throughout your entire time with your student. You can see them gain confidence and proficiency in their roles. This phase is perfect for fine-tuning skills and goals with students, as well as guiding your student into a deeper understanding of our profession and their professional role. Finally, we see our students gain stability. Students have reached a level of true comfort in their role within the athletic training program, and they know their duties inside and out. This is a great opportunity for the mentor to discuss professional aspirations, as well as various goals that the student may have. Through this discussion, more guidance can be given to help our mentees succeed. All of that sounds easy enough, right? So, how exactly do we successfully integrate organizational socialization into our practice? To be successful mentors, we need to implement several formal and informal methods with our students. These methods include onboarding and description of leadership style, being able to set goals, and being a good role model for our students to imitate. As a mentor, we should always begin our relationship with an onboarding process. This gets the student familiar right away with the athletic training room and the people they will be interacting with, including patients, peers, and other preceptors. According to Forbes, a successful onboarding process utilizes the 5 C's. The 5 C's include compliance, clarification, confidence, connection, and culture. We can begin by going over what the student is expected to comply with, including how they should conduct themselves when working with patients, the proper attire they should be using, and proper ways to communicate with their peers, preceptor, other students, etc. We can then open any of that up to be clarified and also go over what we expect their roles to be. This can also be where we can go into goal setting. We need to instill confidence in our mentee by telling them we will be there with them and that we won't put them in any situations that we know they can't handle. It's extremely important that we make sure we follow up with this as their preceptor. Make sure that they always know that we'll be standing right by them if they get into a situation that they can't handle. We need to connect with our students by getting to know their background and their level of experience in the program. We need to make it known that we were also students at one point too. Communication is a big key to connecting with our students. Finally, we need to allow our students to embrace the culture of athletic training. We need to celebrate patient successes, be a reliable teammate, and help our peers and collaborate with other athletic trainers and medical professionals. We need to ensure that our students understand ourselves as professionals. They need to understand us as professionals and as people, and again clarify any questions that they have for us. This onboarding process goes hand in hand with our next aspect of OS, which is describing your personal leadership style to your students. When we understand our leadership styles, we can recognize our shortcomings and also allow our students to understand why we may be expecting certain things from them. 3 leadership styles described by Mind Tools include authoritarian, democratic, and delegating styles. Authoritarian styles often make decisions and lead from the front. They have set ideals on how things should be and can make quick decisions under pressure without the need for meetings or collaboration. They also tend to find it difficult to take a back seat to tasks. Democratic style leaders set goals and guide team discussions to help them make decisions. They acknowledge valuable insight from their team members, but can find that their decisions might be made at a slower pace due to attempts to gain input from everyone on their team. The delegating leader allows their team to make decisions for them and trusts that everyone will get their tasks done. This is a very valuable leadership style when one has a very knowledgeable and experienced group of team members. The downfall of this style is when the right tasks aren't delegated to the correct person or too many tasks are given to one team member, which may cause burnout. We've now reached a point where I would like you all to take some time to go to this link and discover your own personal leadership style. I would like you to reflect on what you do well as a leader and to recognize what you can improve on. Another important part of being a successful mentor and integrating organizational socialization into your preceptorship is goal setting. Setting goals with our students allows them to focus on what they ultimately want to do as an athletic trainer and gives them a clear view of how they can get there. Goals should be SMART, meaning they should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Specific goals define the goal and discuss what needs to be done to reach it, as well as identifying why that goal and any obstacles to reaching that goal. The goal should be measurable, meaning you can track the progress being made. Is the goal attainable, given the constraints and resources available? Is the goal relevant to the student, and will the goal improve their practice? Finally, can the goal be attained in a specific time limit? Several SMART goals should be created with our students. I personally like to establish a long-term goal first. This gives the student a big picture of what they want to accomplish. We can then set a midterm goal. What will be a valuable goal to reach to ensure that we are on our way to our long-term goal? We should then set a short-term goal. I like to set weekly short-term goals with my students to help them stay focused and moving in a progressive and systematic way toward both their mid and long-term goals. When setting and meeting goals with students, remember to be patient, enthusiastic, confident in both yourself and your student, and to be adaptable. By taking on all of the innate characteristics of patience, enthusiasm, confidence, and adaptability, you give your mentee someone they can imitate. And isn't imitation the best form of flattery? Be the best caregiver you can be, and your students will have a mentor that they want to emulate. I ask again that you reflect on your former mentor. What traits did they have that you now have? Some crucial behaviors to model for your mentees to imitate include proper communication styles, performing the small tasks, proper bedside manner with patients, enthusiasm and motivation when performing treatments or rehab with patients, and staying curious. We should always be models for communication. We need to communicate effectively with patients, coaches, peers, and other medical professionals to ensure that our patients receive the best care. Showing our students how to communicate is essential for their development and success as athletic trainers. We need to model proper verbal and written communication skills at all times and implore our students to do the same. We need to perform the small tasks, which means performing all the daily duties that keep our facilities running smoothly. These are often tasks that go without recognition but cause major slowdown when they aren't done. These tasks can include folding towels, refilling ultrasound gel, restocking shelves or medical kits, or sanitizing tables and equipment. By leading by example with these tasks, we can be a person who likes to keep our facility running smoothly and therefore be a person worth imitating. Having appropriate bedside mannerisms is a skill that is often taken for granted. Being able to find the right mix of small talk along with relaying pertinent medical information is a true skill that requires practice. Showing your students that you listen more than you speak is a great way to help them improve their bedside mannerisms. It is also critical that we exhibit active listening when we interact with our patients, and that we always give our patients the final word so they can ask any questions they might still have. Continue to display enthusiasm and motivation when working with patients. We have all had patients who come in and act like their hangnail is going to be the death of them. We must treat our patients with enthusiasm because when a more serious injury happens, we want that patient to know that we are trustworthy and motivated to do whatever we can to bring them back to 100% healthy. We also must promote motivational skills to keep our patients returning to us. Furthermore, to motivate our patients through the most difficult or painful parts of their recovery process. The more we stay enthusiastic and motivated with patients, the better the chance we will remain enthusiastic and motivated for our work, and our students will want to take a more active role in being a part of that. Lastly, we need to stay curious. If we act like we know everything, so will our students. We need to be mentors who are never done learning. We need to celebrate questions from our mentees, and they will take joy in learning more. Take time to research with your students and show them that learning never stops. Imitation is so important when mentoring a student. If you exhibit behaviors you don't wish to see in others, you'll begin to see them in your students. No one is perfect. So, if you do exhibit or see behaviors that should not be imitated, make immediate corrections with your students and communicate that you will also work to become a preceptor with better behaviors worth imitating. Now that you've been given the information from this workshop, I'd like you all to take a brief assessment. The assessment can be accessed by either scanning the QR code or clicking on the link provided at the bottom of the screen. In summary, preceptors become mentors to athletic training students as they provide supervision and clinical education while bridging the gap between educational theory and clinical practice. Through the organizational socialization practices of onboarding, understanding leadership styles, setting goals, and exhibiting behaviors to imitate, students can become much more successful in their programs, and preceptors can become much more effective mentors and educators. Thank you all so much for taking my workshop. If you have any follow-up questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me at my email provided on the screen. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.